Hello, world. Patricia O'Connor, and let me see if I can get the little scamp and a little sleepy Frida Reba Darcy here. There she is. And today on the balcony, you just saw that little Mugo Pine. I'm going to pan over. I'm not going to wreck the whole. It's raining out. It's been raining. We've been having what they were calling an atmospheric river. I think that's a really bizarre term for rain, for what's basically amounts to rain. But yeah, that means it's raining a lot. It's been raining a lot. So the last couple of nights we've been dug in. Yesterday when we got up and started our day, we went out to the balcony and we found our Mugo Pine that we had just recently purchased laying on the concrete floor of the patio on the deck and unpotted. And the gale winds had blown it out of the tray that it was in with all the other seedlings and all my other little trees and all that stuff. Everything else was fine, but the tree I just got had hit the deck. So I was like, well, so much for its rest and relaxation. I'm not really sure that tiny base pot is going to work out up here. We should probably amend that now since it's already unpotted itself. So we kind of did that last night. We did a bunch of stuff. We unpotted this little tree. We we cleaned up a lot of the needles and kind of cleaned up some of the tiny little branches. And then we counted and saw that we had like 7 poking out here on the end and nothing else anywhere else. So we reduced that to 3 or 4. I think it looks like 2, but when you really look, there's a bunch of buds still in there. We're gonna call that this side 2, even though you can also see another one there. And this side 2, even though you can see that one. And I should probably, I will keep both of those, I guess. 3. There's still some work that can happen on that, but that's not necessarily what we're as concerned with today. Also, at the end of part 2, we potted this guy up after we put some motion in it in part 1. And then in part 2, we finished our pot up and we were probably on third base and circling and headed for home when the outside weather just proved too much for our bandwidth and it shut the computer off. I didn't know. I went ahead and finished the show without us. So yeah, it abruptly stops. So we're picking up here. And what I was saying last time when it shut off is I was just kind of talking about a different tree. I was saying how I was going to use a root that makes a little Cheerio or a little washer looking thing. I was going to use that as a pull point to pull a branch that doesn't want to come down a little farther down, but because that little feature is one of my favorite features of that tree, I'm going to reinforce that with a little copper ring. I'm going to plant a little copper ring next to it, kind of connect those a little bit with a little piece of wire, and then I will use that actually as the fulcrum. So that was kind of what I was saying when that video dropped. So what we're doing now is we're focusing our attention on what's in front of us. And this is the Mugo that I purchased on Facebook. And this is the same guy that I was saying just a few minutes ago, had an ill-fated trip to the ground. So I think we got off to a good start. I could have planted it higher, given me more clearance here. When will I learn? When will I learn? So that's neither here nor there. We're going to live with that. But the other thing is I want to do something with these branches, and to that end, I have another chunk of copper wire here. So that's what we're doing. We're going to put some motion in these 2 main branches. The top one, I've got one idea for, and the bottom will be, guess what? There's 2 there that we're basically looking at, and one's going to do one thing and the other's going to do kind of the opposite. So go figure. It's just, as Bullwinkle would say, nothing up our sleeve. I had a dog named Bullwinkle. Neither here nor there. Oh, but he was a good dog. I was a little bit wondering how I wanted to get in there with this, and this is the way to do it. Except I want to come in from this way. Yeah, there you go, Pat. I don't know if you just saw that. Our lights just dropped out on the balcony, so it is lights out on our balcony. I think we're still probably in good frame there. I'm going to take that back up. It kind of went down a little farther than I wanted it to because I don't have a wrap on the top yet. This is the first, you can't bend them both at the same time. So, oh, this is a heavy wire for this bend. I think it's probably going to be necessary. All right, so we'll do that. That is going to be a hard bend, Pat. Get up there tight. I'll look up and it's just pouring outside. Very challenging to get that guy to come on around there. I did it though. I don't want any loose bends on this guy. I want it to come out. I want it to come out nice and clean. I think that first bend was pretty damn hard, but we got it going our way. These are also sort of heavy branches, so I was thinking that we were going to need all of this. We were going to need every bit of this plus some to pull off this bend at the end of the day. And but boy, talk about a tough road to hoe here. There. This is kind of a cool thing for me. This is my first long weekend. I just changed my work schedule to make life a little bit cooler. And I was asked if I would change one of my days off to make it 2 days in a row. And I said, yeah, I don't mind doing that. And then I thought about it and I went, man, you just missed a really good opportunity to lose a Monday in your work week. And so I said, how about we just make it 3 days in a row? And so they were like, yeah. So this week is my first 3-day weekend, and next week I go into a 4-day weekend, and that's going to be my new work schedule, unless we don't like it. I said I would like to do this. I'd like to pencil this in. Penciling it in means if it turns out to be the worst idea ever, We didn't ink it in, we penciled it in. And I'm slinging stuff everywhere. But that is going to make my drops easier to hit better days. The only day that I will, instead of my Tuesday, well, my Monday drop, I'll be now working, but I can do that. No, my Monday drops, I won't be working. My Tuesday drops, I'll be working, but I could have already done those. So, yeah, with 4 days off, I'll be off on really cool days to do those closer to live. And then the other ones, can be pre-recorded today for that one day that I'm working on working on Tuesday. I just love that. I love being able to blow off. I love being able to blow off. But I would rather blow off. If I had to give up one of those days, I'd probably give up Friday, just to be able to take Mondays off. What a luxury, she says. I'm trying to decide the best way to go about this, because every little bend is difficult, and I want to keep the excess wire out of my way. So I'm just going at it here. Just grab it by the hands and go at it. This Mugo has been hard to bend. They tell me that they are slow to grow, so it's probably older than it looks, which is what I'm seeing. It is, a little bit of branch here, just a little year or two's of growth, and this guy is hard to bend. Like this copper is also hard to bend, but the branches are going to need it because they are tough. They're tough little branches. So yeah, I could use the extra leverage that's going to come with using my gin pliers. You're missing a little. I have one wire riding up on another, which is unfortunate. Also, I have been trying to part 2 of this video. This is going to be part 3 right here. Part 2 is already in the can, as they say. It's already done. Part 1 started during the worst of the weather and was the slowest to upload, and it has been uploading since 11 o'clock last night. It's now almost 4. So it's so bizarre, but in the same way that you shouldn't have to open up your window to listen to the radio, I shouldn't have to worry about rain knocking out my internet. But guess what? We're just so barely have bandwidth where we are anyway, that it doesn't take hardly anything to kind of slow down our process. But you know what? I can only do what I can do, and I'm not going to cut that yet. I started to cut that off, but I might clean this branch back a little more. I might clean these buds back a little more, and if so, I could have some more wiring to do. So I'm just going to bring that around. That's close. That's close to it. That could be that second bend could be a little tighter, but the third bend was, I don't know, I think I'm just going to probably, rather than force heavy things around in there and tear up bark and stuff, I should probably be cool with that. Now, maybe a little bit more work on the top to bring that little piece around a little more would be good. If I can figure out the best way I want to do it. How about that? Okay, so now we have, I believe, enough wire on there to get those guys to do something. And the something that I would like to do with these guys will take, excuse me. Oh, also, somebody picked up a cold. Last night I was sifting out some soil for this, and as I was sifting it out, I was really aware of how much dust I was breathing, and I went, yeah, it's a good thing you have some 24-hour antihistamines in case you feel a little sinusy after sifting out that soil. Here's what I was looking for. This morning I woke up with a full-blown cold. I don't know if those two are related, but it does. It feels like it's in my chest. It feels like it's in my head and my ears. And I was actually kind of wondering if Frida wasn't a little sluggish yesterday. So it could be. We could have colds. I don't know. It's probably all the dust I made and then breathed sifting soil. But it wasn't, I did feel fine up until then. And I did feel fine after that. I just woke up feeling like crud. But yeah. Go with smaller pliers, Pat. I want to take this, and I want this guy to be my back branch. So this is what we're trying to do here, is to get this guy to do one of, wow, just bent it, and it just bent my wire right back. Or did it? Yeah. Like, so what? This guy is tough. You're a little ruffian, you are. How am I going to bring that around? It just bends the wire. It won't move the branch. It's ineffective. Okay. Let's see how we're going to fare on the other one. Farther out. That's got just a little bit of movement by doing that. Not even that much. It's okay. We can do that again. That's repeatable, she says. Okay, that's what I wanted to do there. Got this guy coming over, going up. That's basically what I wanted to do there. This is just the other side of that. the side that I wanted it to do something here, it's not long enough. I cut it too short to do that. Or I didn't slide, I've got that much wire left over on this side. I wasted it on the wrong end. Live and learn. Okay, what we can do about that is we're just going to, let's see what it is we want. I was thinking that I would wrap this wire around here and then I would bring this guy forward, done. And that's the heavier one of the two. And then I would bring this guy around that way. That way. Okay. I see. I see a way. I'm gonna go for a piece of aluminum and I'm going to get in here in between these couple of buds. And this side, you know what, don't do that, just go that, just do that. The joys of making it up as you go along. I don't want that. I want to grab this guy on the end as far as I can. What I don't want to do, also, let's do this. What I don't want to do is, have the wire slide down the trunk as I try to run it up. And the way around that is to do this. Now that I've talked it out. This way, huh? So when we wrap this up, our video after this, we will be doing our little, I believe I will be doing my little root trick on that ponderosa. I wanted to get that last little bend in there before I considered that done. And I was truthfully waiting for this guy to just take a little break and settle in and stuff. When it unpotted itself, it's just like, okay, we're gonna bump you to the head of the line a little bit. We're gonna get all of your woes over with in one fell swoop. That is one fell swoop. Right there. Now, if I had a lollipop, we'd be saying, hop down, you're all done. Oh yeah, no, that's awful. That poor bud. I don't think I need that. Why don't we clean that up? There. Okay. Now, you slung stuff everywhere, Pat. Okay. That's what we have going. That's what we have going on our. That's what we have going on our little Mugo Pine. Mugo Pine. Our little Mugo Pine. And we bent some motion into this trunk. We've got it going down at the base. We've got some motion into that. We've got it coming out of the ground and going, you know, kind of running along the ground. We were able to make use of the motion that they had put in it before us. We did a little bit of clean back there, and we put some motion into those two branches, and we put it in a little unglazed, more suitable for a pine to my way of thinking, pot. So we're gonna call this done for a minute and let this guy take a very, very well deserved little break. We've done more wire than this, but I ended up doing with slings what I thought I would do with heavy copper. Mistake on my part here was not bringing that wire around up to here. I cheated it this way and ended up with more wire than I needed. I can cut that off. In fact, I will. So I had more wire than I needed on one branch and not enough to do the bend on the other. But that's okay. That ended up being that sling, which may have been the way to go on that. That might have, at the end of the day, that sling was probably the way to go on all of that anyway. And I'm not going to go in there with my big heavy printers. I would end up cutting the head of the whole thing off. Let's see. Where can we see it? I'm losing it in the glare now. Do you have it? No. You do now. There you go. Okay, that's us and our little Mugo Pine. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. This has been a three-parter, and just as soon as the first part finally drops, we will drop it, and then we will be doing time droppages for the other two parts because they will have been long ago ready. All right, and like I said, I appreciate you. Frida appreciates you, and thank you so much for watching.